All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. We're going to be getting started in just about 2 minutes or so. So I would love for you all to share this broadcast on your pages, share this broadcast into your groups. We are going to be talking about poetry today. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about personal growth. We're going to talk about self-discovery, all of that with the author of Surviving Oakland, Miss Aminah Adcock. So I'm so excited that we're going to have her here with us this evening. We're going to get started in just a couple of moments. So please tell us where you're joining us from. Share this out so that we can help reach more people. And we're going to have a great evening, you all. We're going to have a good evening. So all of these are going to be happening every single day leading up to our graduation on September 25th. All right, so 2 minutes, we're going to be getting started. Share this out. Let us know where you're joining us from. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get into this conversation that we're going to be having today. Super excited. All right. So just about a minute and a half to go. We're going to get started. So join us, share this out, drop where you're joining us from, and let's enjoy this conversation this evening. I'm super excited because I learn something every single time we have a talk. Every single time. So dope. All right. About 1 minute or so. Hey, Ms. Z from Phoenix, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining us. She is a power author, the author of Legally Savvy. She is helping people all over the United States, and actually I should say over the world, learn how to navigate the legal system so that we can avoid heartache, we can avoid headaches in business, in life, and the things that just make day-to-day worlds go around. We need to be able to navigate that appropriately. So her interview is coming up. You all will be able to ask all your questions. You know, what do I say when they actually pull me over at the police? Or if I'm someplace and I really don't think it's going down the right way, how can I approach this? All of those legal questions you'll be able to ask attorney Zarina Nadir in her interview coming up in this week. So we're going to be looking forward to that. All of the interviews are going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, you all. So we are getting ready to get started. About 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. Share this out. Let us know where you're joining us from. 30 seconds. All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in your part of the world, right? I am in Eastern Standard Time. So my name is Zarina Elamin. I am the founder of Power Author Academy and Book Power Publishing. We are a self-publishing house that helps entrepreneurs, that helps change agents, that helps individuals who want to share their messages, preserve their legacy, get their books out of their head, down onto paper, and out there into the world. So if you are looking to write a book for building your business, maybe you want to just share what you know so that you can help somebody else live their life a little bit easier, then that's what we're here for. So this evening, I have the wonderful opportunity to interview one of our new power authors. That's my drum roll. Miss Aminah Adcock, who is the author of Surviving Oakland. I'm so excited. So this is a reflective journey into finding her truth. So Aminah Adcock is an entrepreneur. She's a spoken word artist of creative expression from Oakland, California. As the owner of QSC and Apparel, a business focusing on handmade body and wellness products, Aminah uses her creativity to serve all of those that her clients and customers. Currently a college student, Aminah also studies Quranic Arabic and is dedicated to the acquisition of the Arabic language. In Surviving Oakland, her first book, Mina takes readers on a journey from self-destruction to self-awareness and finally victory. So I want to just welcome Miss Aminah. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Aminah. So welcome her to the Power Author stage.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, peace and love, peace and light.
Ooh,
Thank you for having me.
Peace and light. I'll take it. I will take it. Light. Awesome.
Yes, we need all the sunshine today that we can get in this world. But yeah.
That's absolutely right. We got a lot
excited. I'm excited to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we have a little bit of feedback. So what we're gonna do probably is there's a slight delay, it seems, between me and you. So just kind of listen out for that. Yeah, it'll be a slight delay tonight. All right, so let's get into it. Now, Miss Aminah, one of the things that was very interesting to me right off of the bat when you joined the Power Author Academy and you said, I want to write my book, was that your story is so dynamic. You have a lot of different things that have happened in your life that have brought you to where you are right now. And one thing I noticed that was like, sometimes when I would write your name, I wasn't sure how to spell it because you would have Aminah, you would have Ameeenah, and sometimes you would have Mina. So can you talk to me a little bit about what this means?
Yes, so it's just spelled differently on Facebook, but the correct name on my birth certificate is Aminah. And Mina is kind of like a quote unquote nickname that my family, they still call me Mina. But I wanted to differentiate Aminah and Mina because Aminah is someone, I was given the name by my parents. And Aminah, what Aminah stands for, the name means honesty, trustworthy. So I was always geared towards that, characteristic as a person, as a personality. But some people, they tend to have these expectations of people, that they are close with or who have, they made relationships with throughout their life, friends or associates or what have you. So that's the Mina. Mina is is looking at on the outside in at what Mina should have done. Mina was vulnerable. She was naive. She always was this person that conformed, went with the flow of things, instead of being a leader like Aminah is. So throughout the book, you will see that you will be able to, understand that story. So it's kind of like in a third person. And it's, written in a way that you can tell that you will see Aminah's evolution throughout the book.
I love that you talk about like your personal evolution and you use your names and what people were calling you to be able to like really put a vision or such to that evolution. So you talked about the fact that you went from, this person that didn't really stand up for yourself, this person that kind of went with the flow, as you said, and on the description, you mentioned like self-destruction. If you will, tell us a little bit what you mean by the fact that you were on this path of self-destruction. What exactly does that look like?
Yeah. Well, my surroundings in my environment, my immediate environment, whether it was in school or, just seeing what the things that I could have done, but I didn't. Something in me, which is Aminah, something in me was always like, well, you shouldn't do that, or this wasn't healthy for me, or I would have remained at the stage of Mina, that vulnerable person who always went with the flow, who never thought for themselves. You know, so it's kind of like it's a metamorphosis into who I am today. And this is who I was born to be. So now I'm comfortable in my skin to explain these things. You know, Mina was not a person who was comfortable with that. Mina always shied away from, you know, things. Just in the book, I explained, you know, how I was always this person on the sidelines. I wanted to be this talented person who wanted to express, you know, my gifts, who wanted to express my gifts to the world, because I did have something to offer, but I never, you know, was taught, or, you know, I never was led by example, I should say, you know, to do those great things, you know. So, but now, you know, I'm at a point in my life to where I can explain that. And I was embarrassed too. I was embarrassed that I had to go through some of the things that I did, you know, thinking that I was going to be judged. I was going to be, well, she dumb. Why did she do that? Don't she know better? She should have known not to do this or that. But once I started owning my truth, you know, living in my truth and not being ashamed of what I experienced, then I felt more comfortable. I began to start healing, you know, once I started writing every day, you know, and eventually, you know, I joined the academy to really get those, you know, those tools that you helped me with, that Book Power Publishing helped me with. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. You know, so you talk about the fact that your brother was like in the music world. He performed with Digital
Yeah.
Underground, and so you were kind of around that scene or whatever. Can you talk a little bit more about what that scene was like, and then also how did it impact you?
Well, what I can say, the way that it impacted me, when my brother used to write, sit down writing in the living room, you know, writing music, writing lyrics to songs, I was right there with him. So that is what really inspired me. He was very consistent at what he did, you know, and it gave me the confidence to, you know, to want to be, I wanted to be a rapper at first, to be honest, but I'm more of a poet than, you know, rapping or saying, you know, lyrics to music. I'm more geared towards a acapella, you know, artist than a rapper. So that really, my brother really had a strong impact on my art, you know, as an artist. And, you know, the Digital Underground crew, I remember, you know, when my brother, he was touring with them when Tupac was, you know, here with us. In general, generally speaking, you know, my brother, he was close to him. So we got a chance to, you know, get kind of behind the scenes, look at the way things go in production and, you know, all of this light camera action, you know, but something, like I said, something drew me back. I never went in all the way, you know, because I wasn't comfortable with some of the things that I've seen as far as culturally speaking, you know, the things that people would engage in to, you know, probably, you know, just the club scene, you know, the club life. I was
Drugs
never,
and alcohol and things like that. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah. That, but you know, I'm not saying that I was not engaging in that, you know, I'm not no angel or anything, but by the grace of Allah, he has pulled me from that and made me look at myself, you know, because I could have went all the way in, you know, I mean, but that's not my life, you know. And I guess those influences back then, they were strong, but you know, again, by the grace of Allah, my dad, he my parents rather, they have gave me a strong foundation, you know, and I always remember who God was. you
Mm-hmm.
know, who God is. So I was always drawn back to, you know, my foundation, which is Allah, which is Al Islam, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you're growing up, you're surrounded by these different influences from different scenes or such. And so you're finding the way that you're going to go. You know, you're finding your truth and you're finding your
Yeah.
path. So,
Yeah.
Aminah, was there a pivotal moment? Was there a specific time in your life where you decided that, okay, I need to make a major change? Like, I really want to do things differently. Was there a clear moment where that came to you in your life?
Not in particularly, but that's not what Aminah wanted. I didn't want to be competitive in those things. I wanted to find what I was great at. I wanted to find what Allah wanted for me, you know, as far as my gifts, you know. I wasn't comfortable. Something in my soul was like, no, because you see all of these things and you see, okay, if you do this, this will happen. If you go to this party, you're going to be led here, you know, things like that. So I was always asking questions in my
Mm-hmm.
inner self. In the book, I say, you know, that I am. I figured that I talked to God. I spoke to God in my own baby language. That He knew what I was talking about, and if I kept asking questions, the answer will be revealed to me. So I never stopped asking. You know, I always went to God with everything. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of really determined my faith, you know. And this is why I don't want to reveal too much of the book. I'm not going to say that.
Well, go
I
ahead.
don't
Go ahead.
want to reveal too much, but
We're gonna get the book first.
okay.
Make sure
Okay,
that
well,
yeah, go
this
ahead.
is a plug. Okay, so the book, that this is why I start a letter. I'm writing a letter from Mina to Amina. Mina is apologizing to Amina for co-signing with those who wanted to suppress her gift. You know, those who wanted to like steal her jewels. You know, from the world. They didn't want to see her shine and blossom. They wanted to keep her suppressed. And I share this information in the beginning of the book because it kind of defines the chapter. Once the readers start reading the book, it kind of makes sense. You know, at the end, I end with a certain ayat when Allah is telling us to stay in our true forms. You know, Amina wanted to stay in her true form. Mina didn't want to be out there in a culture exposed to this and that, you know, to be taken away from who she was born to be.
Wow, this little battle between ourselves, right? It's like the battle between staying in our true form and then the other
Yeah.
side looking at everything that's happening in the world and it looks alluring and it's pulling us in. I think all of us can relate because at any
Mm-hmm.
stage, any of us
Definitely.
have some type of internal battle that's happening, you know, inside. And so, you know, for you named the book Surviving Oakland. And I wonder if you can talk a little bit about that. Like, where did you get this title? Why did you call it Surviving Oakland?
Well, I grew up with a disability, and while experiencing my physical disability, I never looked at myself as being disabled until I began to get older. You know, like you get once you get in your 40s or whatever, you get limbs start hurting, your arm, your neck, you know, things like that. So I always wanted to keep up with my peers, with my cousins, whether it was playing sports or, you know, singing in a church choir or something like that. But due to that disability, I was always a step back or two steps back from them, you know, due to not, you know, I had to relearn how to, you know, hold a spoon while eating, you know, as being a toddler. This happened at a very young age. So I survived that, you know,
Talk
that's why I
about
got to
that
say
in the book.
surviving.
Do you talk about how you had that disability in the book? Do you name it?
I mention it, not in detail though. Not my disability. I don't talk too much about the disability. I mentioned that my disability personally, it has crippled me psychologically more than it did physically. So that is the focus of the book.
Awesome. So, okay,
Yeah.
so you're talking about, the fact that you had this disability, you continued on, and you were looking at wanting to keep up with your peers and such.
Yeah.
So continue from there.
So I was just a little more slower than them, got held back in the third grade. And that's when when you asked me, was there a pivotal moment? But I can look back at those early ages. When I got held back in the third grade, I felt so low. I was like, man, I didn't feel good about it. I felt humiliated, at such a young age. I'm the only one in a class who have to sit, in the back of the room or in a classroom waiting on the teacher to get to me, things like that. And then that actually escalated from the third grade to maybe when I got in junior high school. That's when it was very recognizable, these being in a portable classrooms with, I guess, people who are like me, or, what is a term? I don't know. It's a certain term that I'm thinking of, but I just remembered those portable classrooms, and we couldn't go to recess, when the regular quote unquote children went to recess. We had to play separate from them, and that's when it kicked in, that, okay, they're treating me differently because I learned different. I never said, I never was comfortable with being disabled. I never was labeled that way, although I was. I didn't never, my mom, no one didn't treat me. They treated me equal, although I was, like I said, a little slow at getting concepts, mathematical theories, word problems and solving, math equations, things like that, but hey, that was then, this is now. I can talk about it, and I'm at a good place with it. I'm very comfortable in my skin.
I think you would be an awesome person to go back to some of the schools and talk to other children who have been either labeled differently or they are treating them different in school. Because you can be like an eye to educators for them to kind of see how what they do, affects the children, right? How it impacts them. So I think that's so amazing that you came through all of that, and now like you're a published author. You came through all of that.
Right. So, yeah, I look at people today. There are so many. Oh, can you hear me? Okay, there are so many disabled people who are so productive and successful. I mean, people are in wheelchairs, like doing it. They doing their thing, and they're in wheelchairs. They got one leg. They don't complain. Like that. So I'm like, this. It's about perception. How do you perceive you? And I had a problem with looking outside of myself for validation from other people. You see, so until I got comfortable with who I was and who I am, then my life was like, I was confused. Once you are comfortable with who you are, you live in your truth, you express your truth, and you learn differently. You know better, you do better, right? So I'll say that when you know better, you do better. So that's where I am now.
And now you've been sharing your experiences so that other people, can benefit from it and learn and be able to improve their own lives.
Yeah.
So this book is like a mixture between your story, and then it jumps into poetry, and then it goes to your story, and then it jumps into poetry. So I
Yeah.
wonder if you remember the first time that you went on stage and did a poem. Can you remember like the first time you performed?
Ooh. Uh,
How
there are
old?
not many because I'm so shy. It's not many events like that, but I can remember me and my good friend, Sister Masha. Shout out to Masha. We, at the flea market, there's an Oakland flea market in Berkeley. There's a city called Berkeley, and I can remember they were having spoken word. And they were, it was just a good vibe, food, music, everything like that. And something just said, you know what, you need to go out there and just let them hear you. And I spit something from the head and they loved it. So,
Wow.
that was a great moment for me. It was a confidence booster, you know, and I even networked with, people. They wanted to know more of who I was. Where can they get, read more, things like that. So, and that was several years ago. So, yeah, that was a very great moment for me. And
Mhm.
also, I can remember not too long ago, there was an open venue in this. It was like a building when people rent buildings or whatever. It was a little restaurant, and then they would have spoken word. So I would perform there, and I did that like 3 times. So I was getting my feet wet, with people. But the thing about that is you have some poetry or some artists who have different mindsets than you do. So the direction of the conversation, I should say, it was way different from mine. So I didn't think that the audience could relate to my spoken word. It was like teachable moments for them more than, congratulations, like, oh, sis, you did, like that. It wasn't, that wasn't a vibe. But I would get those vibes at, venues where I'm at, like Islamic functions or, other different cultural functions and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, because we've all been to some of those poetry houses, and some of that poetry can get a little raunchy up in there.
Yeah, it was kind of grimy, so I had to fall back from that. So I just stopped going, but
Yeah. So also in the book, like I know you have some things that you wrote for incidences that happen like in society. There was one part in here where you were talking about Tamir Rice and the fact that his life, was taken before puberty and such.
yeah,
So when you're doing your poems, like do you find moments like that from inspiring things that are happening in society, or like
yeah,
out to really?
definitely.
Mhm.
Definitely, those kind of things. That's the environment, right? Of when it comes to social injustice, I'm really big on that. So it touched me when I heard the verdict that the cops they didn't get any time, they wasn't held accountable. And I said I was in tears, and I asked my sister, one of my sister friends, like, what are we going to do? What's going to happen? What should I do? And she was saying, what you do best. So I just wrote about it. And I mean, that's all I could really have done at that time. So it kind of, things like that. And also with the George Floyd incident, there's one in there about him. And then I just put all of them in one piece, and unfortunately, it is a continuation
Yeah.
of these killings of, Black people, Black and Brown people. So I try to put it all in one and try to bring it home with our heroes who left us a legacy like Malcolm X. This was Malik El-Haj-Shabazz, Jumia Al-Amin, Fred Hampton, who is now Jamil Al-Amin, Mumia Abu-Jamal, people like that, because there is a legacy of violence surrounding us, and I can't suppress my voice on that. So I'm very big on that. By the way, I'm an Africana Studies major. So I am, learning more, learning how to put it in context so we can better understand the social injustice and the history of violence in this country,
Mm-hmm. Well, they say, the pen is greater than the sword, right? The pen is greater than the sword. So you writing about it and using your words is definitely a form of resistance, but also a form of, it's offensive tactic as well to be able to tackle these things that are happening in our society. So,
yeah.
the little thing is like a big thing when you bring your voice and bring it out. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this, poetry, these deeply things. First of all, it's deeply personal, right? Things that you experienced in your life and then you're writing about. And then your reflections on what's happening in society, you're writing about. And you also weave in these things about Islam and you weave in these things about, spirituality or so. So why was it important to you to kind of weave in some of the spiritual aspects into your writing in the book?
Well, it was very important because I just wanted to dedicate a chapter to my ancestors. I come from a God conscious family on both sides of my parents. So remembering my ancestors, known and unknown, was very important because they set the foundation, my spiritual foundation, to just keep the Most High in your life and not to forget. And my dad, he's very his history when it comes to African and African American people is very strong, and there's a connection with African American history and what we've been through and our spirituality. It's not just a physical attachment to those people who came before us, but we have a spiritual connection with them that needs to, I feel strongly that it needs to be heard, by the world, from the world. We seem to forget about the importance of that. That's our direct connection to our ancestors, not just the physical, not just the look or the phenotypes, things like that, but they prayed for us to be, to have strongholds on who we are as a people, or to keep us grounded, keep us grounded in spirituality and keeping the Most High first. We are being pulled away from that every day, So it was very important. I just wanted to show that. And that's in chapter 9. And I love that it's in chapter 9 because 9, as we all know, represents birth. So I wanted to really, display that element in there. And to let the readers know, I'm a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual person. I think I know I'm more spiritual than religious. So,
Yeah, I think every week we felt your spirituality come out and in our weekly sessions and in you talking and sharing. And you've always been that kind of like calming kind of, force, with the group with us and where you live as well. So
you have to be strong. I'm sure, every area has their, like, quote unquote, bad areas or undesirable areas, but you have to be strong living out here where I do. I mean, the environment is so tense, and these things, these events that occur, I don't want to, sound like a conspiracy theorist rather, but these things are pre-planned. Some of these things are, if you just pay attention to the political climate, the history of your city, we had the Black Panthers here in Oakland. So to me, all of these things that's happening is a domino effect of, what they were doing, to uplift the people. And then we had the drugs and, all of these things, breaking up families, things like that, terrorizing the community, or like really things just got out of control. So there have to be voices. I just want to be a voice and a tool for the next generation to teach about the history, because it's not being taught in the schools.
Yeah, and they're trying to stop it, right? They're actually trying
to stop it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is the Power Author Stage. We are here with Aminah Adcock, who is the author of Surviving Oakland, a reflective journey into finding my truth. So it says Surviving Oakland is a story of Mina's self-discovery journey living in East Oakland, California. Artists like MC Hammer, Tupac, and NWA forever changed the rap world with their amazing lyrics and unique sound. Mina, having a sibling who performed with Digital Underground, had access to some of these greats. Seems glamorous? The reality is that East Oakland was a hard place to live with poor school systems, drug-infested neighborhoods, and targeted social injustices. This is a story of human growth and the desire to evolve into the best person you can be. Although she was a victim of social and mental instability, the once misunderstood voiceless girl peels off layers of manipulation and exploitation and discovers Aminah, the talented, passionate, and giving woman who has much to contribute to her community locally and globally. So I'm so excited, you all. Surviving Oakland is available on next Saturday, September 25th. Aminah is going to be back on next Saturday at our graduation for all 8 authors. And she will be talking a little bit more about her story and a little bit more about some of the other things that have happened and where she's going now from here on, because this is just one part. This is an added part to her story. She has a lot of different things that she is planning and things she's going to be doing with her business and going back to school. So we're going to be able to dive more into that, and then also see some of the ways that she has been inspiring other people with her story. So you all can register to join us on September 25th at powerauthoracademy.com/graduation. That's where we're going to be on the 25th. Register, and you'll also be able to achieve you'll get some prizes. You'll get into a drawing for some prizes. And for those of you who have questions for Aminah, we're going to open up for a Q&A in a little bit. So if anyone has any specific questions about Oakland, about poetry, I'm going to ask you, Aminah, if you have anything you want to read, like any poem you may want to say or anything you may want to read. Get ready, because I'm going to throw you on the spot. About to make the stage. About to put the stage.
So, okay, yeah. No, I would like to share one. Now from the head or from the book?
You can do it whichever way you want to do it. From your head, from the book, whatever way.
Okay, I would like to read something from the book, Spoken Word. Let me get it.
Okay, awesome. So while she's getting the book, you all, one of the things I love about Aminah is that, some of us shy away from the darker, I don't like to use the word darker, but some of us shy away from some of the less glamorous parts of our life. And we try to hide them. We try to say they didn't exist. We try to act like we just got to where we are just like that, right? But every little step along the way in our journey leads us to where we are right now. Aminah went back to school in her 40s. She's getting her college degree. All that stuff that people did earlier in school to her, now look at her. She's a published author, going to school, getting her college degree, which is something that she always wanted to do. So I think what I've learned from her is to never write yourself off and never let other people write you off either. You may learn differently. You may look differently. You may think differently. You may do things differently in your life. And sometimes when you're doing things differently, you think that you're not going to be able to get ahead, or you're not going to be a success, or you're not going to be able to really make an impact. But what I love about Aminah is that she has made such an impact in those around her and other people. And she is continuing to do that because she's not holding back. She's not diminishing herself. She is stepping out and she is bringing her gifts forward. And I love that. So, Aminah, you ready?
I'm ready. So this particular spoken word is called Rising in Love. And I like that title because I'm into language. So when you think about falling in love, we don't want to be falling from anywhere, right? We want to be rising. We want to elevate to the highest of the heights, right? So this is called Rising in Love. And it's actually, it's an inflection, meaning I'm speaking about me. I had to love myself before I can love anyone else. And in order to do that, you have to elevate from whatever low stages you were at. You have to elevate in order to love someone else. You don't want to be falling anywhere. So this is called Rising in Love. Okay, I rose in love when I met my reflection. It was then the abstract became even more noticeable. He looks into my eyes with glistening clarity. We keep it lit with calmness, with Al Noor assured, which is light. We rose in love. We're destined to come up. We are rising in perception, meeting the new we. Ooh, we. Everyday greatness greets. Creation peaked. Adam's awake and Satan is asleep. This dynamic duo is one. We rose in love. His brown skin caught my attention. We locked in, rising in love. He's my Adam, I'm his Awa, no doubt, or Hawa. My Khan, his sub. My beat, his drum. I walked out of darkness to see him. I rose in love. I broke and came anew, only to have found him. Dreams followed, now chased. My mate was me all along. Now I sing this song. I celebrate though he's miles away. I'm never alone. Our love is beautiful, a beautiful melody, jazz like Billy, hip hop like our philosophy, neo soul like reaching our goals. The only difference between us is to combine as one. Understanding that we must make moves to conclude. He was made for me and I was made for him. No mystery, one soul together, practicing faith together to weather the storms that set to come our way. I, I reside in this peace that has arrived. We were together in jhana, in our abstract makeup. We fell from there, but rose in love, rising back to our natural habitat, growing individually on the sarat and rising collectively on the sabil, rising in universal consciousness.
Wow. Can you remember when you wrote that? Do you remember?
I wrote this. Do I remember when I wrote it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I thought I was rising with someone. That's just a joke, but it's real. I'm just keeping it real. But shout outs to him. But yeah, it was a time when I still have some self investigating to do for myself before so I won't fall, right? So
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's beautiful though. That's what they say. Everybody that comes into our life is there for either a reason, a season, or what's the third one? Like they're there for a purpose, right?
Or a teaching moment.
Yeah, a teaching moment, and they may not be there forever, right? They may have to teach you something at that time.
It was definitely a lesson for me.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we have a question for you. It says, now that you're an author of a book, do you prefer writing or do you prefer performing?
That's a good question. For now, I like writing. I have to, writing is such a healing for me now, now that I know I can do it, now that I did it, we did it, I'm ready to write my next book. So I just want to keep a certain momentum, to where I'm at a comfortable stage to get out there and perform. Yeah, but I do like to perform, but I have to get it down on paper. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, that was a good question. So I know a lot of people, like when they're writing, they have a goal to put out a specific book, but then sometimes other benefits come, or sometimes other things happen while they're
Yeah.
writing that either give them ahas or whatever. And I'm wondering for
Yeah.
you, did you have any type of did you have any other things that happened in the process of writing that were unexpected for you?
Yes, my small business that I have, QSC and Apparel, it picked up. So I don't, it just, and I had to flow with it because this is something that I started during the pandemic, because I got laid off. And, just as everybody else, I had to figure out what I was going to do to make ends meet. So during this writing process, oddly, my business has picked up. So I just see things fluctuating. You got to jump on a wagon when this pick up, or, even when something else picked up. Like I started a blog during this process just to let the audience know, my writing style, to try to get them an idea of who I was as a writer. And it's been going really good, but that's an example. And then when the book was, when we had to work more on that, I had to stop doing that, to focus more on the book. And then I started school. The semester just started a few weeks ago. So now I'm doing the blogs once a month now, because of that. So everything just fluctuates. So that was interesting what you just asked. It's very, it's what you sign up for certain things, and you just can't be like, no, I don't feel like doing that. You can.
It's not easy. I mean, telling people
It is not.
it's not.
I
It's
tell my family.
Yeah, it's not like you're just gonna sign up and
Yeah,
this is gonna happen. You got to actually put effort in, and you
you
did.
do.
Yeah.
And then you have to really apply the pressure, right? Like you're not going to get any results without putting pressure. You got to sweat a little. I'm sweating now.
Yeah, yeah. I was telling like we had these weekly meetings or whatever in the classes, and I used to always tell you guys, once you start doing something and you put your effort into it, it's gonna open up so many other doors that you don't even recognize, didn't even know that those doors were there. And that's one of the beautiful things for me, like as the instructor, to watch each and every one of you, like how when you're writing your books and then when we're sharing our wins in the class and you're talking about, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, and they're unrelated,
Yeah.
to the book, but
Yeah.
they are related to you and your life. And
Yeah.
it's supposed to show you, like, when you apply yourself and when you discipline and when you're working towards a path, when you're working towards a path, the angels will assist you. Hold on one second, because this came to my mind. This sister, Camila Shuaib, out of Oakland, California.
Yes.
Camila Shuaib. We were at a function one day when she was speaking, and she said something that has stuck with me like to this day. It was years ago that she said this. But we were at a function and she talked about the fact that human beings are Adam, right? And that if we believe, many people have different beliefs, but if we believe that that God told the angels to bow down to Adam, right? And the angels were the angels bowed down to Adam, and he said that Adam knew the names of all things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He said, if you are in alignment with your God-given talents, and if you are in alignment with the things that you are supposed to be doing on your path, then the angels will assist you. Like the angels will come and they will help you and they will assist you in ways that you see and in ways that you don't see. So one of the things that I see for you is like clearly the angels are assisting you on your path because you are in alignment. You are in alignment spiritually with what you're supposed to do.
That is the hope. Yeah. Inshallah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So we have Sister Basila, and she says, uplifting interview. She is another power author, you all. So Basila, tomorrow, I feel like your interview is tomorrow, 9 p.m. But she said, and hers is on a rebuild, money management. Hey, for
yes, I'm gonna
money right.
Get her book. Yes.
And get that money right. You can get it on September 25th, next Saturday. All right, uplifting interview. I love the way you embrace your truth, use your voice, and dance to the beat of your own drum. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sister Basila. Woo, that's powerful. Yes, yes, because you know what, Mina, I mean, you heard of the phrase, I'm not going to scratch if I'm not itching. You know, so the same analogy what Sister Basila just said, you know, I don't, you know, if I don't like the song, I'm not going to dance to it. I don't have to like it because you like it. I mean, you know, and it's okay. You know, because I used to get offended that, you know, people didn't like something that I don't like. I would expect them to still, you know, to kind of be on board with me. I took that offensively, but you know, that was ridiculous, you know. That's not the way that we should think, you know. So yeah, thank you so much, Basila.
All right. All right, you all. So those of you who are just joining us, this is the Power Author Stage, and we are here with the Power Author Aminah Adcock, who is the author of Surviving Oakland, a reflective journey into finding her truth. So you can pick up her book on September 25th. That's next Saturday. And let me tell you all what's happening next Saturday, because it is a big day. It's a big day, big day.
It's a big day,
right? So on September 25th, we're going to be having conversations like we're having now, but we're also going to be celebrating every author, and we're going to be buying their books on September 25th. It is their book launch. It's the day where they are really pushing their books out there into the world. And because we are indie artists, right, we don't have big budgets like Barack Obama and Michelle and, you know, Oprah throwing millions of dollars, or TD Jakes or whatever, or Steve Harvey throwing millions of dollars into a book launch. We're doing it old school, and we need you. So we need you to join us on September 25th. Join us on September 25th. What day is it? It's 25, right? Join us on September 25th. That's next Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be at the powerauthoracademy.com/graduation. We'll be live on Facebook. We'll be live on YouTube. And we would love to have you come say hello to all of the graduates, buy their books. You can buy the paperback versions on the 25th, next Saturday, or you can also buy the Kindle version. Now, some people have been asking us because they see that some of the books are available and they're like, I want to buy it now. I'm asking you all to hold off strategically on buying the books until next Saturday. And we want to buy them on that day so that we can like do a frenzy in the Amazon system. Everything is computerized now, right? But what happens is that when we buy our books in a frenzy on a specific day during a specific time, you know, we can help Amazon help us, and we can reach a higher rank inside of their system. And also they will share the book out. So that's what we're looking to do. When you're an indie artist, you got to figure out ways that you can maximize your coins, right? And part of that is utilizing the strength that we have, which is people. We may not have billions of dollars, but we have you, I have myself, we have you. So we're going to collectively come together. All right. So Aminah, I'm going to give you the final word. See if you have anything else that you want to say to the audience this evening.
Well, I just want to thank, I can't see anyone right now, but thank you for joining this live. I appreciate it. And you can email me if you have any questions, EYE_C_US@yahoo.com. And you can also tune into my blog called The Birthplace. And there's a podcast connected to that. But I am getting the technical issues together with that. But you can listen to the podcast when you type in the birthplace on the my blog called The Birthplace. So yeah, get that.
So
That's
the birthplace is the name of the blog.
yeah.
us at yahoo.com, and I is EYE_C, the letter C _us at yahoo.com. And you can
Yes.
also catch her on Facebook at Aminah Adcock. We'll add in her contact information and tag her into this broadcast. So you'll be able to go and contact her later or whatever. But let's give her a round of applause. Aminah, we are so proud of you. We are so
thank you so much.
You know, we're thankful for you coming out and sharing your story. So many people hide, and so many people are staying in shame, and you are demonstrating us that that's not the way to go.
Thank you. And I want to thank you, Sister Zarina, for making this so simple. Like this whole process was, you know, it was some challenges, but you made it so easy for all of us to learn the ins and outs, just starting with your ideas, just write down your ideas and then going from there. You made it so comfortable and easy. And I'm ready to join up next with my next book. I got you.
Wow, we are always here for you. Always here.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we will see you all next Saturday, September 25th. Oh, right now, I want you all right now, you're on your phone, you're on your tablet or whatever. Go to powerauthoracademy.com/graduation. And there you should see a place where you can RSVP. I want you to RSVP because we're going to be doing some drawings for those of you who register ahead of time. And I want you to win the goodies. So we're going to give away some technical things. We're going to give away some assistance with your publishing. There's going to be some great stuff. So I want you all to go to powerauthoracademy.com/graduation. Register there. You just click RSVP or register or something. It's free, absolutely free. And you'll be able to register there. So Aminah, congratulations again. Have a good day, you all.
You too. See you later. See you on the 25th, and I will be tuning in tomorrow. Yes. Thank you.
Good evening.
Peace and blessings.